Well, we could all use a fresh new recipe for a home-cooked dinner.
This month, Carolyn Piguet from Piguet's Primetime is showing us how to make bourbon glazed pork chops.
Hello, it's Carolyn Piguet from Piguet's Primetime here in Bonita. Excited to be here today with you and share some things. I'm sure you've all noticed the change in the weather. And you know, we've come out of the holidays and probably there are some of us that are looking at different diets and different ways to eat. We've chosen as a resolution to eat more healthy. So there's several things we can do to kind of prepare things that direction that aren't necessarily that hard or that time consuming. Looking at some things today, we're going to give kind of a pork entree, tell you a little bit about fixing a bourbon, black pepper, pork chops, and then just about fixing some sides. The sides will be one of those things to increase your vegetable intake. You know, if you're doing any type of diet, greens and vegetables are good. It's also kind of, I feel like in the wintertime, it's a nice thing to have, you know, increase your vegetable intake at that time because we're in the winter and we don't have access to gardens and those kind of things. So this is when our produce section of our grocery store becomes very, very important and kind of like a trip into getting us ready for spring. But I'm going to talk about our entree first, which, as I mentioned, this is a bourbon peppered pork chop. It's a center cut pork chop, and you just make a simple rub to go on it. And I have sauteed this today, but you could also put it on a grill. If you have an indoor grill, or if you even want to cook it in the oven, you could do so. I tend to like to saute things. I take olive oil and a good butter and make kind of a saute medium for that. And it just, I like the way it tastes. I like the way it browns, all those kind of things. But you're simply going to take some garlic and some Dijon mustard, Cavender's Greek seasoning, brown sugar, and then you can add a little bit of bourbon. Now, if you don't want to add the alcohol, you don't have to. Bourbon just kind of enhances the flavor, and it's burned off during the cooking process. And you're going to take your pork chops and you're going to rub that to the outside, and then you're going to put them in, as I said, this oil and butter mixture, and then brown them out. And they'll make a nice brown presentation. And you know, you cook pork until you no longer have any pink in the center. And then I want to talk a little bit about what kind of entrees. In the dish that I have presented today, we did Brussels sprouts. And if you're aware of roasting vegetables, Brussels sprouts are a very, very good thing to use. I encourage you to slice them in thirds. That way that they get a nice brown roasted look and appearance and taste. We've also done some broccoli. But you can go down your produce aisle in your grocery store and find all kinds of cool things to do and use for your vegetables this winter. Thank you.